Hey there, film buds. This is normally the part of the show where I just kind of have a little casual audio outtake of sorts as a soft open. I know that Henry liked music. I don't feel like, to be completely frank, I don't feel like fucking around with music. I hate editing, I hate audio. So that's, as a little behind the scenes note for you, part of the stylistic change of Henry being at the helm of Film Buds to me. Today, though, I didn't want to do my usual little bit. I decided to try and make something a little bit meatier out of it and something maybe a little bit more useful to you. So, first things first, I want to address something that was brought to my attention by a listener, which was the fact that I have not extolled the virtues of my incredible co-host while Henry has been away, Lauren. I often just refer to her as my wife, and there's nothing technically wrong with that, but it also doesn't do her any favors. Um, and it is a disservice to the incredible skills that she has. Um, so, for a little bit of background, since Henry once upon a time gave background to who I was, I thought that I should maybe go, and if I haven't really delved deep into the background of where my wife comes from and why I chose her to be on the show and talk film with me, I thought that it would be important to go in and sort of fill in that context because this is one of the most important topics in the world to me, and I didn't I didn't just let her on, because she is my wife. It is 100% because I also love talking to film about her and think that she has very incredible insight. And that all comes from her background and who she is. So, Lauren Thompson Davis is a lifelong music performer and stage performer. She has been in theater and music since she was, in church as a kid. And then eventually she moved into a magnet performing arts school. That's the high school that she and I jointly attended, but it was also a middle school, Northwest School of the Arts in Charlotte, North Carolina. We actually are, if I'm not mistaken, the first high school to put on the color purple. Don't quote me on that. So she went there. She went to Northwest starting in middle school, and she also continued on into high school. She was a singer. She was in musical theater. She actually had a lead in one of the performances while we were there, Wedding Singer. And she also performed in community theater in the North Carolina area. And then following that, she actually went on to a conservatory style program at a Virginia university. And she studied musical theater. And she had to do technical theater work, and she had to do costuming, and she had to learn theater production at every level. Following college, she then relocated to New York. She worked for a while, saved up, relocated to New York, and she tried the acting thing. And she was in a few performances and a part of a traveling group for a little while and auditioned for several Broadway and nationally traveling shows, nationally touring shows. So she is certainly not here just because. She is a very incredibly talented, wonderful, thoughtful person who perpetually gives me new insights and is constantly giving me different perspectives and brings all of herself into a discussion on film and all of her background. And she's incredibly thoughtful. And furthermore, I think that it's useful to have on a certain level of performer perspective, right? I come at from and Henry come from more of a background role, whereas she was supposed to be out there in front of the lights saying the words, right? So I think that it's important to sometimes have varied perspectives, not even just from, you know, the obvious things, male, female, gender neutral, Christian, Hindu, Taoist, but also writer, director, costumer, performer, and maybe even having non-film backgrounds. I think all these things are important in the discourse, right? Especially since film is such an amalgam art. And I realized that I had done her a very big disservice, and she doesn't know I'm saying all these nice things about her right now. So hopefully she'll get to sit down and hear this, and it'll be a nice surprise for her. But it was a real disservice to her, and it was a disservice to you. And I truly didn't mean anything by it, but it was definitely a little bit of a faux pas of mine. So I apologize to y'all. I apologize to her. And now we'll get on with the show. Hey there, Film Buds. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. I am your host, Paul, and I am joined by very much more than just my wife, Lauren.
Hi.
So we're actually still waiting on one of our hosts for today, one of our guests for today, friend of the show, Nick. He should be joining us soon, but he's a busy man with a little baby at home. So things happen. But we figured that we would go ahead and kind of get started, dive into the show a little bit. We're doing another Hispanic Heritage episode. For those who weren't aware, a month ago, we started Hispanic Heritage Month with Hispanic Heritage, September 15th. And we did that with two films. We did Frida, and we did Under the Same Moon.
Oh, beautiful.
And both of them were specifically from the Hispanic community. They were both Mexican films from Mexican, perspectives. Although Julie Taymor is not a Mexican filmmaker, but they highlighted that culture. And so a month later, I was kind of coming up with what I wanted to do for this month, and I said, well, one of the things that I closed out on was next month is Halloween. Try and find some Hispanic horror. And so I did it. And it's again Mexican centric. And that was partially also because I wanted it to kind of feel more like a connected part to the last episode that we did. So today we have for y'all Guillermo del Toro's Cronos from 1993, and we have Issa López's Tigers Are Not Afraid, or in Spanish, Vuelven, which is from 2017. And they're both kind of very interesting, non-standard films, but I thought that they would both be kind of exciting for us to listen to. But before we jump too deep in, I thought that, and I'm sorry I've monologued so much, I've barely heard from Lauren. I don't know who you're here for. But if you don't mind listening to me a little longer, I thought that I would go and give y'all a little history, frame some of this narrative that we're having for you, because we all have a general idea on American film and television history, even if it's probably far more shallow than I realize for the average person. But what you definitely don't know is Mexican film history.
Yeah.
So I decided that I would go and do a little dive. And I went to good old David Cook's textbook. I've referenced that book so much, but I went to it. And I decided that I would go and give you all a little crash course before we get too deep into this on Mexican film history. Specifically, only from the 20th century. I was like, should I go back further? But then that's a whole can of worms. So I'm really just going to focus kind of on like the last 100 years. That's okay with y'all. So around the 1940s, Mexican cinema starts to get government funded. Now that might sound a little bit odd, but once upon a time, governments funded a lot of different film projects. Actually, your state government probably technically does fund, through tax incentives and other programs, some filmmaking. So Mexico decided to get into the federal filmmaking business. Super, super common. German cinema used to have a very strong governmental body. And during the 40s, they end up doing very well. And they go, and by 1945, Mexico was making 80 to 90 films a year. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, especially for 1940. By the 50s, we're now essentially into the thick of Mexican cinema renaissance, right? Things are moving well. People are making a lot of movies. And amongst those films, you're getting some really great, meaty dramas and things like that. But then you're also getting what crowd pleaser films, which were locally referred to as churros. Sweet, but empty of calories. You know, they were meant to just entertain you. And one of the popular genres of the 50s and 60s is the ranch comedy, kind of like a cowboy comedy. By 63 to the late 60s, there's been some sort of government hits on the film industry, but also at this point, the first film school has shown up. And so from 63 sort of onward, you end up getting some independent cinema that is often government critical. And, you know, this is also kind of at the same time that people are criticizing governments, honestly, kind of globally, right? People in the 60s, especially the late 60s in an American context, are getting tired of the Vietnam War, Korea's over. So this is kind of in step with a global zeitgeist. From about the 70s, early 70s to the late 70s, government policy actually starts to encourage social criticism in film, and also tries to go in and start to kind of build back some of what had fallen off a little bit in the 60s, right? So like the 40s, 50s, golden age, 60s, bit of a come down. So the 70s tries to correct that, and they try to be like, no, be socially aware, you know, spend and go and spend money in ways to improve what you can do production wise. But ultimately, it isn't really enough. By the late 70s, a new administration comes in and he hands the national cinema apparatus to his sister, and she immediately starts to privatize the film industry again. And she starts to gut some of its funding, and it ends up having a lot of calamitous effects. Furthermore, a whole bunch of people, once it left the government sector, decided that they were done with filmmaking overall. And so a whole bunch of the craftsmen that had been coming up dipped. Then the real big disaster strikes in 1982, when, not unlike the loss of the library at Alexandria, the main Mexican film archive burns down.
Really?
Yeah. And loads of film is just lost. And not even some of it probably wasn't even just Mexican. But also we probably don't have a really accurate grasp on what all was lost, because the records of what was in there
We're
probably lost. So
Of course.
82 is a fucking shit show. And then they have a financial downturn.
Good.
So by 83, a new government institute is created. they try to help step in and, oh, here we go.
Nicolas.
Hey, man.
Okay, hello. Hold on. Let me get rid of that background. If I can. Can I even... Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, just check.
It's okay.
I'll pick up where I was though, because I was actually you kind of came right just in time. I was talking about the Mexican film industry.
I mean, as one does.
And so I was going through, and we had just hit the point in Mexican film history where in 1982 the National Mexican Film Archive had a fire.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. And so then 83, a new government institution is created. From 83 to 88, there's a little bit of a boom because some money is pumped back in. But by the time you hit 91 to 92, the movie production in Mexico actually completely fucking flatlined. And that's actually why a whole bunch of people started to go to outside financial sourcing, which is partially what led directly into Cronos. And why Cronos was able to get funding.
Good lead in. Excellent. Have you already started this episode?
I just did a little bit of Mexican film history background, that's all.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
How have you been, man?
Dude, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. How's the kid?
I'm so tired. He's great. He's the best.
You've
best
been
in
hard
the
at work
world.
doing. You were telling me when we went to the Alice Cooper concert, this is a busy time of year for you. Because you do the weekly Shudder horror guides and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I do a weekly streaming guide. It's mostly horror. Just by that's what's out there, folks. But no, I do the weekly streaming guide, and now in addition to that, for October, I'm doing like a top 10 list of whatever. So like the first one I did was because the new VHS movie came out, so I did my top like favorite short films from all of those movies. And am I being loud enough? Or
oh yeah, you're fine.
Okay. And this week just came out today. I did my favorite Blumhouse movies.
Oh, okay.
And next week, I don't know if I finish I'm marathoning Halloween just like you guys are. So if I finish that in time, who knows? It's a lot of movies.
Yeah,
it is.
It's too many. But
it's like 11 or 13. Like it's somewhere in that ballpark.
I think it's 13 with the new one coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, or I think it's 12. I don't know.
Because there's the 6.
It's one of the 3. It's 11, 12, or 13.
There's the 6 original, the Rob Zombie remakes. You know what? It's 10 because it's the 6 original, the 2 Rob Zombie remakes. Oh no, it is 12. I forgot about the H20 and Resurrection. Yeah. And so it's 12. We're coming up on 12, but Halloween ends. We'll make it 13.
Yeah. So what? 2022.
We figured it out.
I just needed more fingers.
If you want, we're doing a slasher episode, and so if you manage to get through a good chunk of them, you can come on and be a part of the discussion on Halloween.
Oh, let's do it, dude. I've seen too many slashers.
Yeah, we've got Sky coming on to talk Scream. We'll have you come on to talk Halloween. Mad might be on also at that point to talk Halloween. So
sweet.
Yeah,
it'll be a fun time.
Yeah. Well, let's not let the people waiting any longer. Are you ready to jump on into it, man?
They're chomping at the bit. Let's do it.
I know. Who doesn't want to hear some people talk about films that are mostly in the Spanish language? So our first one is 1993's Cronos, directed by Guillermo del Toro, and as always, we have a clip. So take a listen.
Por favor, por favor, por favor. Con todo cuidado, por mi alma, por favor. Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre, venga a nosotros tu reino, en la tierra como en el cielo, el pan nuestro de cada día, danos hoy, perdona nuestras deudas, así como nosotros perdonamos a todos.
So, that was Cronos by Guillermo del Toro, written and directed by Guillermo. As I said, it comes out in '93, and it stars Federico Lupi, Ron Perlman, Claudio Brook, Margarita Isabel, and Tamara Zanath. I think that's how you say it. It's with an X. And the main synopsis that you actually get is like an alchemist from the 1500s creates a device that grants the user immortality, and that's it.
I was so thrown off by that because that's the one like on IMDb or something, or like on the HBO Max page or something like that. But yeah, that's what I read, and I was like, because I didn't know anything. And I was like, okay, well, here we go. And not, I mean, that's how it starts, like the first 30 seconds.
Keep going.
No, so Kronos is about this old man who works like in an antique store, basically, and he someone like leaves. Someone like comes in and leaves this thing, and it has the alchemist thing.
I think he just found it. Like, I think that it was just like one of the various things that he had.
Who the heck was the guy then that like came in?
He was looking for it. He was like, I think like a junkie.
I see.
So random aside, I think that the reason that he's a little like itchy is because of the theme of addiction in the movie. And so I think it was like, he was like an addict coming in.
I think he's like ridding himself of it then.
Oh, you think so?
Maybe like he's the one that had it last and he comes in and it's like away with it.
Well, I was thinking he was going to get like the tip money. Like he ran around and then told Ron Perlman so that way he could get, like.
Oh, I see. He's like the start of the chain there. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. I'm in trouble. I didn't pay good enough attention right off the bat.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine, my man.
Anyway,
so he finds this device.
If he finds this thing and it goes in him like a needle, subtle. and it turns out this is a vampire movie.
Yeah,
no warning.
To put it simply,
she actually guessed the vampire thing just before I did.
Who doesn't love surprise vampires?
We're sitting there watching it, and suddenly she's like, "Wait a minute, is this vampires?" And I'm like, honestly, at this rate, I don't fucking know.
It was the moment like before he licks the blood off of the floor, and I was like,
Mm-hmm. It's really, is that not the defining moment of the movie right there, though?
Yeah, that is.
There's a scene in the film where he just is lapping up a puddle of nosebleed blood off the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
And it goes on for a good little bit, and it's wonderful. It's so good.
Well, my favorite.
It was the point in the movie where I was like, "This is fantastic."
Yeah, my favorite bit apart from that, like even before he went down to like the full sort of like debased, I'm gonna lick it off the floor, was the very careful. I gotta scoop it. I gotta like rake. And
he was doing it like a line of coke there.
Yeah,
again, very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Very subtle. He was scooping up the blood like he was about to snort it up.
Yeah. So the movie was absolutely nuts. I, like you, didn't know much about it. I knew that this was his first movie. But like that was pretty much all I had. It wasn't until we were just about to start it that I realized that his first movie had Ron Perlman.
I didn't know. I didn't know a single thing. You got that text from me the other day because I just looked up. Like, I was like, well, what? I'm sure there's like a billion movies called Cronos.
Yeah.
You know, like what in the world? And I only saw the year, so I asked if it was the 1993 one. You said, yeah. And then, I looked it up and I was like, oh, this is Guillermo del Toro. I was like, oh, and it's his very first movie. Yeah, I mean, this dude came out swinging, took no prisoners right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was looking into it. His background was in visual effects makeup. He spent the 80s working as a makeup artist, and he even had like his own visual effects makeup company called like Necropia, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
And then he did some short films, and then he did some TV shows. And then he landed this as his first film, partially because he had to go again outside of the country to find funding for it. But I think part of that funding agreement is also then why he ended up then going and doing Mimic 4 years later, which was his first big like English language film.
Here's a fun thing here with this and the last episode I was on is that we're doing the Hispanic Heritage Month stuff, and I'm the Hispanic, but you're the one explaining all of the history of like not even just like the individual filmmakers of the movies we're talking about, but like of like the film industry of like their respective countries. And I'm over here like I have no clue. I don't know.
Well, know me. I'm a research fiend. I gotta know. I need the picture.
I do too. I know. I do the Wikipedia dive as everyone does.
Yeah.
It really depends on the movie. If I'm really about it, I like to look up, try to find some interviews or some essays on it.
Well, honestly, I really liked this movie, and I wanted to know more about it and where he came from with it. But on Wikipedia,
kicks ass. I mean, I need to say it again. No, I know Wikipedia is pretty blank on it, but sorry to interrupt. Sorry to train of thought again. I want to reiterate again. This is a really, really good movie. It's one of those movies that I've been watching such a crap lately, which is funny. That's not true. I've seen plenty of good movies, but I don't know. I feel like I was in a dry spell because I just watch stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a movie that's like in the first 15 minutes, I was like, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
Right. I'm really enjoying this. I feel like we can only go up from here.
Yeah. Instantly, I'll say this. Do I think the movie is necessarily as like good as some other Guillermo things? Maybe not. But I was so drawn in with Jesus Grease as a character, like instantaneously. I was like, who is this old man? I love him. Like that actor was just so charismatic that I was like, I enjoy him. I enjoy the family. I understand the dynamic. They've gotten older. Their marriage has gotten a little bit drier,
It comes down to the writing, dude. Good writing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a vampire movie. Once again, we're like, that's not really the focus. It's like different because it's like a scarab looking ancient device that turns them into a vampire, and they like constantly need it. And it's treated like a drug.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's more about like you were saying, like the family dynamic and how it changes as he starts going through his changes.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not one of those vampire stories where like the vampirism is the end all be all thing. You're hidden the best part of your life, because he starts to do this like decline almost within this addiction to the scarab giving him eternal life and all of this.
That's the other fun part.
Skin peely bit, him turning into like the Nosferatu-ish vampire, where he's just very pale at the end.
My man looks awful in the third act.
He like his have like a really good peak. Like it starts to give him like make him feel good. He's like, yeah, I feel great. My health
Shave my
feels great.
mustache.
Yeah, I'm
He looks like
my wife.
the third act when he's all messed up. It looks like it looks like stage makeup that it's like the last show of like a tour.
Oh yeah. It's really like thick in some parts too. You can tell that like it's a huge layer on top of him.
Oh, I know, he was hot.
Oh yeah. Well, and the whole thing also has like a discussion on appearance, and I think on a certain level there is some discussion vaguely on vanity, even if it isn't very deep, because he immediately enjoys how much younger it makes him look. And Ron Perlman is, very obsessed with his nose.
Yeah.
And so there is on a certain level a little bit of
Ron Perlman is
commentary.
fantastic in this movie.
Oh, let's talk about Ron.
The youngest Ron Perlman I've ever seen before. Love it.
Here's what's also really cool about this movie, with this being Guillermo's like first, is that it already immediately has like his sense of humor, isn't it? It's like it's a dark story, as always. It's got like the dark fantasy vibe, just like he always, it's like he's known for. And again, like for a vampire tale, it's really steeped in like a deep like mythology, like a ancient history kind of thing. Very very mystical stuff.
We were briefly listening to, while I was trying to help you find a clip for Cronos, where it's the director's commentary over it, and he was talking about how he really wanted it to be very steeped in this alchemy that was the basis of it. And he tried really hard to make it very, very apparent that was where like all of the I guess the science fiction came from, was from the study of alchemy, instead of it being, I guess, something
just vampirism.
Just vampires doing vampire stuff,
Yeah, it's a really different approach to it. And also, again, with this being his first film, he's already doing like the child as a prominent character, who's always like, I don't know, has there ever been like an evil child in his movies? I don't think he ever has like
I don't think he's ever like done the evil child. Children are a very pure
the children
thing.
are always pure.
Yeah.
And like very much the case here.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Like there are rare times where you go all the way back to a filmmaker's first film and go, man, you had who you are as an artist pretty much like
pegged,
locked up. You
say.
maybe did it better over time, but like you figured it out. You go back to Bottle Rocket, Wes Anderson's first film, and it is tangentially a Wes Anderson film. It's not until Rushmore that you're like, oh, that's a Wes Anderson movie.
Right.
But this man had it.
He knew what he wanted to say.
Yeah, dude. He doesn't play, man. He doesn't.
Story. It's an isolated person story. Yeah. And he doesn't.
He don't miss, dude.
What's the worst Guillermo movie for you? If he didn't miss, let me ask this then. What's the worst Guillermo movie?
I don't know. That's a bad question.
All right. What's your least favorite?
The data. I don't know. The data is really Rotten Tomato. The Rotten Tomato, the lowest rated is like Blade 3.
Okay. Well, he didn't direct that. That was David Goyer.
Word.
He and Wesley Snipes did not get along on the filming of Blade 3.
Oh no, sorry, Blade 2.
Oh, okay. Blade 2 is his, yeah. Blade 2 is probably his, I guess, worst critically reviewed movie.
Man, I don't know. I haven't seen all of his movies.
I guess if I really
I haven't seen Mimic or Devil's Backbone or the second Hellboy.
You haven't seen the second Hellboy?
No, I have not.
It's actually really good. I like the second one in some ways more than the first. And actually the second one has my favorite Seth MacFarlane performance.
That's specific.
I guess you'll have to watch it to
Favorites.
find out what I mean by that.
Favorite Seth MacFarlane performance. What a
Followed by
person.
Ted.
Yeah.
Happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Let's talk about Seth MacFarlane.
Talk about Seth MacFarlane.
But no, yeah, I like Hellboy 2 a lot. I think my least favorite would maybe be Crimson Peak, and that's just because it's not even really because of anything that he did wrong. It's just, it's not, that kind of gothic tale has never been one that really caught me.
Sure. It's like a more of a personal taste.
Yeah, and that's really all that one is.
I guess never mind. I was gonna say like aspects of Pacific Rim maybe, but that movie just whips ass. The movie's so good.
Shit slaps, man.
The movie's so good.
It's a certain generation's Independence Day, and I will not be talked off that point.
That's not quite the same.
My man, Idris gives as good of a performance, as good of a speech as Bill Pullman.
No, for sure. For sure. I don't know if it's not quite the same kind of deal.
No, it doesn't hit the same audience the same way. But I think that there are people that I think love that first Pacific Rim.
Independence Day is so American.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim is not.
No. But that's Guillermo. Like, even when he did Hellboy, there was nothing about it that necessarily was like defiantly American. Yeah,
oh,
you
thank
know.
Goodness.
And that's the best part of those movies, honestly.
Well, and that was another thing that I noticed about this movie and a lot of other Guillermo movies, and also the time in which he grew up. Authority figures of an institution are oftentimes seen as the antagonist, as something that is to be overcome, or they are bumbling and incompetent and annoying. And I was looking at that, and he's born in 1964. And so, like, the movies that Guillermo grew up watching, especially the movies that were made in Mexico, were more of the independently funded ones, were more of the governmentally critical ones, were more of the socially conscious ones. And so I think that definitely some of that is highly present in a lot of his films, because a lot of his characters are the people that subvert the norms.
Sure, man.
I
have nothing to add there. Yes. Yes.
He has such an interesting style. It's so beautiful to watch how he turns such a dark kind of worldview and makes it into something beautiful and romantic and sad, and it does really pull on like the best kinds of a gothic narrative, and he just has a beautiful way of looking at the world that is unlike anyone really else.
He's got a very good heart. He's got a very good heart, that one.
Just an amazing storyteller as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty much everything that I have on Cronos. Nick, do you have anything you want to add?
Cronos rocks. Watch it. It's on HBO Max.
It is.
Or available to rent or buy anywhere else, I'm sure.
And it's on the Criterion Collection.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So Nick, if you had to give Cronos a score, what you giving it?
I don't know, like 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Pretty damn good, folks.
Honestly, yeah, that's where I was living too. Yeah, 4.5.
Almost
yeah, I'll go 4.5 as well. Even even the places where it falters or foibles, I don't think are anywhere near honestly worthy of bringing it down.
No, the rest is too good. It always depends, like, is how much does the good outweigh how much does the stuff that really works outweigh the stuff that doesn't work, or vice versa?
Yeah,
the stuff that works here is just too good.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting. It's such a different look into something that we consider so ordinary. We've seen hundreds of vampire stuff just all around, and this is nothing like anything I've seen.
Yeah.
It's about a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on there.
No, I
Put
think
that on the
was really.
poster.
There's a lot of things going on.
Put that on the Blu-ray. Quote me on that. There's a lot of things going on in Cronos.
Put it right on the front. Big quotes. No, I think that was really good. Well, if we're all ready, then I think we'll move on to our next film. 2017. Let's get
serious. Let's get serious.
Actually, I will say one more thing before we pivot. I decided to go and come up with 2 movies that I thought you could watch that I think have a certain tonal or thematic texture similar. So the first one is obviously James Whale's Frankenstein. Just because it's like the quintessential monster movie, and bullshit if Guillermo isn't influenced by that film in particular. Just at every level.
Everybody. Whether they know it or not.
Oh, yeah. Is a movie that some people don't know called Bigger Than Life. Are you familiar with this one?
Okay. No clue.
It's a really interesting film that Jean-Luc Godard, if you're into French film, called one of the 10 best English language films ever made. And it's about a guy who gets on cortisol for his hypertension. And his cortisol usage drives him insane and threatens to ruin his home life.
Fun.
And so I thought that there was some interesting kind of, this guy who was just a normal guy starts to take a drug that sends him into the path of mania. And actually, it's one of the few films that is shot in an ultra wide format, a Super 70 format, that isn't a big historical epic like Ben-Hur or something like that. It's all shot in suburban, domiciles.
Christopher Nolan, who? Step aside.
Those are last little note on Cronos was I thought those were 2 little films that you would enjoy as sort of cinematic parents.
There's a good accompaniments.
Yeah.
And I even have some for our next film. So Tigers Are Not Afraid is what we're going to do next. And as always, we have a clip. So take a listen.
Había una vez un príncipe que quería ser tigre. Los tigres no tienen miedo. Los deseos, como en los cuentos.
So that was Tigers Are Not Afraid, also known as Vuelven, which means come back. And it is directed and written by Issa López, and it stars Paula Lara, Juan Ramon Lopez, Neri Arredondo, Hansel Casillas, Rodrigo Cortez, Yanis Guerrero, and Tanoch Huerta. Thank you. I practiced. And the premise is, I forgot to pull up the premise.
This is a synopsis that actually it's pretty straightforward. It's like, yes, that is indeed what it's about.
A dark fairy tale about a gang of 5 children trying to survive the horrific violence of cartels and the ghosts created every day by the drug war. Yeah, that is very
spot on. Good job, good job, PR person or whoever wrote that.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Nick, you kind of took us away on the last one. Would you like to start us off again on this one, or?
No, you just watched it. You watched it more recently than I have.
I did.
So it's more
we
fresh.
just watched it today.
Yeah.
It's more fresh in your mind. One.
All right. Do you want me?
It's a good way to start It's a great way to start the day.
No, I literally started it at like 10:30 in the morning. Like it was.
Yeah, coffee in hand. We were like, all right, let's watch this movie.
Bleak.
There's a movie. Before we start. There's a movie that just came out called Mass, and I watched it at Sundance, and it's a very, very good drama of two sets of parents meeting in a room in like the aftermath of a school shooting. Or school shooting is sometime past, but they're anyway. Entire movie takes place just there in the one room with them talking. So good. so good. Devastating. I watched it also at like 9 and 10 in the morning or whatever.
At an unreasonable time to watch something so dramatically hefty.
Yeah, for sure.
To hold that weight the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Well,
so what did you guys think of Tigers Are Not Afraid this morning at your early morning showing?
So we started watching it, and I was very intrigued. And the deeper into it we got, I suddenly started having this very early on, essentially, like the moment that the child made the first wish, I was like, I think this is going to be something that I think about for the next few days. I was like, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be heavy on my mind.
If you've got a well-functioning brain, it should stick with you for a little bit, yeah.
And I pretty much haven't stopped thinking about it since this morning, like on some level. Like I'll have a tangential thought that takes me somewhere else, and then I usually, so far today, have come back around to that fucking movie. It's
good movie.
So good. So good.
Heartbreaking. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
We're currently in Virginia right now, and my mother-in-law came up like right when the movie was like at its end point, like it had just ended pretty much. And I was like, I cannot just be like weeping on the couch right now. My mother-in-law will have a lot of questions.
You can't be like, well, let's go get lunch.
Yeah. Paul, are you okay? I'm fine. Just
everything's great.
Just trauma on children.
It was just so beautiful and sad, and I
So
loved
this is it's interesting because this certainly has a good, it has obvious elements of horror, especially as it goes on. But I think to me it's much more of like a kind of fantasy drama, and even maybe not, all again like fantasy elements, but it walks that line where you could decipher it or interpret it as like, oh, this was all the more fantastical stuff is all in the children's imagination because it's the film is told entirely from the perspective of the children. So these are all like mostly orphaned children living in like an area of Mexico that's pretty much ruined by conflict and gang and drug wars and everything. And basically it's really just about, there's like a goal that I guess I won't spoil. It's not you can see when you watch it as far as the plot goes, unless you want to get into the plot more since it's more fresh for you.
I mean, we can definitely touch on that a little bit more, but
it's it's a nice like juxtaposition from a usual like child fantasy like adventure movie, because it's like adventure but it's so somber just because just as like an audience member of the setting and everything, and it's something that doesn't shy away from child death.
Oh my gosh, no.
As well, not in like a gratuitous, this isn't like some like stupid
it's
gratuitous
like
kill the kid, it's all bloody and all that, this is tasteful child murder, how dare you. No, but yeah, it's like you said, Lauren, heartbreaking movie, heartbreaking and very moving. Still, as always, like all good movies like that, it's got that hope. It's interesting also, like the hope kind of like grows as alongside, like as it gets more horrifying. The kind of like glimmer or spark of hope kind of also at the same time is able to grow. So weird. Like I said, it's a really interesting balancing act and a blend of different genres that she does here.
Yeah.
No, damn good movie.
Oh, so
it
good.
it reminded me on a certain level very much of almost a King's story, in the way of how much of the magical realism that you're looking at is real. You know, how relatable, how reliable are our narrators, because they, to your point, they are children. And it was really interesting. I didn't mean to do this, but it was very interesting to me when I looked back at it after I chose both films, that by sheer happenstance, both of the second films were these, let's use a child perspective as our grounding point to explain a circumstance, a world, narrative. And it certainly wasn't intentional, but suddenly I looked back and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I did kind of like double dip right into, you know, this use of children to explain the hardship of cartel violence as it affects the people who live with it.
I think those are always, that's obviously like an incredibly difficult thing to do when you're telling a story from the perspective of children, and movies that are able to do it, you know, like tragedies from the perspective of children, I should clarify, or like historical tragedies, stuff like that. When it's done well, it's, I mean, obviously they're still getting if it's done well, that story is just incredibly affecting. Like I'm reminded of Beasts of No Nation, which is a crazy movie. If you haven't watched that, it's on Netflix. Go watch
that. It's about child soldiers. Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful.
I was the one out of the list. Hi.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry, Lauren. Beasts of No Nation is about child soldiers. Yep.
Happy, cool. Not cool, but I understand. Cool.
Also, just like a brilliant use of, like, again, the child's perspective, and done in a way that doesn't shy away from the more intense and heavy, like obvious aspects of whatever the setting is or the story is. But again, I guess just, yeah, I don't know. I can't come to a conclusion here.
Both of them are
in a way that doesn't feel like so like exploitational.
No, yeah.
Or or melodramatic.
Yeah. It's grounded. It's never too big. It's never too small in its moments, in its emotionality. It's very, very grounded. And that's also why the fantastical elements are totally fine to introduce, because at no point does it feel excessive, overblown, even in the performance. And these are incredible child actors.
Yeah. Which why it's more interesting when you said like they didn't have any prior acting experience.
Yeah.
Before this movie.
Yeah.
Wild.
Wow.
No, but they were just living very authentically. Like you could see it. They were just living very authentically in these parts. And I think
it's like the whole package, man.
Yeah.
Everything in Tigers Are Not Afraid just works.
Yeah.
No,
it all comes together. There's nothing really left hanging that you're like, oh, I don't feel like that was like fleshed out enough or whatever.
And both of them are more horror, and I would say an almost Victorian sense, where it's not about a jump scare. It's about creating an atmosphere and about having your horror not the thing that isn't scary isn't the boogeyman, right? The thing that's scary in both of these films is something deeper, more adult, more nuanced. And the horror is really the horror elements are as a stand-in for reality at a certain level.
Yeah.
And that's what makes both of these films fire so hot.
That's why it's the best genre, my dude. It's how we talk about the serious stuff.
And it's cathartic. And
yeah,
even though this movie, I'm not sure actually ends happy, it is cathartic in its own way. As a little bit of a spoiler discussion, I do have a very serious question.
Yes.
I think I have an answer. Is the girl dead at the end?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Like the main girl?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Interesting. I almost read a certain, and maybe it's just like something that I read into it, I almost read a certain ambiguity.
You're like they're all dead.
Yeah, a little
Kind of
bit,
like
because
like
for
a
me it was
path
almost
into a peaceful existence.
so quickly fantastical an ending, and maybe it was just meant to be a visual metaphor of her freedom when she stepped out on the other side, that she was now a big cat roaming through a free plain.
She's the apex.
And maybe that is kind of more of what it was hinting at. But on a certain level, I also kind of stopped and I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's heaven.
I think it could be, anything's up for interpretation, I guess, unless the filmmaker's directly like, no, fuck you. it's about this. I guess. And even then, for some people, it doesn't matter. They're like, nah, I mean, it's too late.
But honestly,
too late.
I think if she lives, I think that ending still works for me. But if she dies, I think that it also still works for me. I'm not upset with either option.
It is definitely very ambiguous, I would say.
I go for the she lives because, like I said, I to me there's like an undercurrent of hope throughout the movie still, as bleak as it seems.
Well, I think that's where it, coming from like a child's perspective, I loved watching these kids still find ways to entertain themselves
and be happy,
have fun, and be children
well, it's
in this harsh environment.
Just what kids do, yeah.
Yeah,
what kids do.
And I think that if this movie had been centered in just like an adult perspective the entire time, we would lose a lot of that whimsy and that hope and that will to just have fun in the sheer heaviness of the topic. Yeah. Because, as adults, we have a hard time just like, letting go.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
Good movie.
No, like I can't recommend it enough. For me, it's very much like the experience that I had with Under the Same Moon. Like, I'm gonna keep thinking about this movie. I'm still thinking about Under the Same Moon.
That's because it's about children.
But no, I was so touched by it. And it was so impactful. And for me, the two films that I kind of saw on a certain level, a kind of textual similarity, one was Stand By Me. And the other one was Slumdog Millionaire. This kind of weird, how convenient almost that all of your questions did line up, that almost like a slight suspension of belief for the fantasy of the narrative's sake.
Yeah, that heightened reality.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I absolutely adored this. I was pretty stricken by it. And it's very pretty. It's also a very pretty movie.
Yeah. It's like I said, it fires on all fronts, dude. It's no notes.
Well, the director of this film liked our tweet that we were recording tonight. And you told me that literally right in the middle of me trying to research her.
That's funny.
And so suddenly I was like, oh no, I have to make sure that I get it right. So I was already in the process of doing some research on her. So I do have some background on Issa López if you would like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
hear it.
So she was born in 71, where Guillermo was born in Guadalajara. She was born in Mexico City.
Mm.
And she attended the National University of Mexico. And she actually began as an archaeology student, but transitioned into directing and screenwriting. And she obtained her BA in 95. She spent some years, working, writing, and being a lecturer as well. And from 97 to 2000, she was a professor for writing studies at the Center, or at the Center of Writing Studies for Televisa, which was the master's program that she was essentially in. In 2003, she goes and she does a film called Ladies' Night that ends up being one of the highest grossing films of 2003, 2004, and 2005 in Mexico.
Wow.
And from there, she ends up going on and doing several US studio-backed films, 4 films only released to a Hispanic audience, essentially. They're so small that you literally can't find Wikipedia pages for some of these films. But it was through that she was eventually able to then go on and create Tigers Are Not Afraid, which was the 9th script that she had written in full, 9th feature-length script. So there's a little bit of background on our director. Absolutely tremendous. And ever since then, she's now blown up. Noah Hawley, who does Fargo, is now working with her on another project.
Nice.
There's another...
Guillermo is.
Yeah, Guillermo is
Really?
working
Nice.
with her on a new project. So, since this film, she's absolutely blown up. And honestly, I can't wait for more. Truthfully, if this is where we started, give me more.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, she's not playing now.
You got a new fan.
No, yeah.
So.
So yeah, I really can't recommend this enough. It's on Shudder. It is a Shudder exclusive. I think it is also on AMC Plus as well, if you have that.
If anyone has that.
Only
I have
only
AMC Plus.
Do you?
I don't remember what I got it for. It's funny. I actually just found out that I have it. I don't. I must have gotten it for something, and just never.
They just go, wait.
I went to I went to look up Halloween on Amazon.
Watched Halloween 2?
Yeah, I watched the first Halloween and Halloween 2.
Okay.
And they were there, but only with AMC Plus, and they were like, "It's available with your AMC Plus." And I'm like, "What? Why do I have AMC Plus?"
Who did this?
Who was responsible? I guess me.
Good job,
But
me.
But it was fine. I was like, well, hey, that's what I need to watch. So
I was about to make a joke. The only people that have it are the Dolan family, but now you've ruined my joke.
I know. I heard you.
Well, them and now Nick.
It's the Dolan and the Delgadillo family. That's it.
It's me too, man. The 2 AMC Plus subscribers. I'm getting my money's worth. I watched Halloween
and so were
too.
the Dolan family. So Nick, if you had to give Tigers Are Not Afraid a score, I have a funny feeling on what you're going to give it. I think we're all going to give it the same thing.
Es perfecto.
There it is. Yeah, 5 out of 5.
It's perfect.
Long, 5 out of 5.
That's a damn good movie.
It's so nice to see good movies. It's so nice.
I know. It was really great to watch. These are, again, very good choices here.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice to not watch bad stuff.
I agree.
For instance, I watched Halloween 2 the other night.
Such a slow.
Some
movie.
people literally put that as their second favorite Halloween movie.
I think that's where
You
they
know-
stopped. That's why they were like, I did 1, I did 2. Those are
Well,
my 2.
Again, I've not seen the vast majority of these movies, but watching Halloween 2, I think people like it if they're just because it just follows immediately from the first one and
Yeah.
just attempts to recreate it. It's like a classic sequel move there, sequel to a movie that wasn't originally intended to have a sequel. So it's like, well,
Even though
let's just
John
do
Carpenter hates that movie.
let's just do the same thing again, except not as good. Different director, different this, different that.
This director comes back later for another one.
Nice.
Rick Rosenthal does too.
I think he is fine. That's not to like say like he's like shit.
Yeah, no, he's
think he
fine.
does. I think it is pretty fine. He does stage some stuff. I don't know. It's so limited. Halloween 2 is just it is the most straightforward. Halloween 1 is the most straightforward. Like there's this guy and he's gonna kill people and we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
that's the movie. He's gonna kill some people. He's after this person in particular, and then he'll try to kill them at the very end, but he's gonna kill all these other people first, and that's the movie. And I assume that's the movie throughout all the decades here. And apparently that's still the movie, which is exciting.
Well, to be frank, actually, some of the sequels, I don't want to tip the hand too much.
Never mind. They veer off into. Well, no,
They
don't
get
tell me.
weird.
I'm excited.
Stuff, man.
They get
I'm
weird.
excited. Is
Uh,
Buster Rhymes in one?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Buster Rhymes movie?
We watched it last night.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting.
We
I've seen like
watching a movie that was
I've
very
seen like
depressing.
I've seen like a 5-second clip of like Michael Myers with Buster. I don't know his character's name, but Buster
He
Rhymes.
steals the movie, and honestly, I don't know his name either. And we just watched the movie.
It's just Busta.
He's Buster Rhymes. It's fine.
It's great. Anyway, okay. Well, I'm glad that's not just the same thing over and over. But we've gone off topic here. Halloween 2.
Well, I mean, we kind of wrapped things up, so it's okay.
Halloween 2 is mostly boring. It's not the it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there's some crazy stuff, like when I talked to you about the kid just getting absolutely horrifically murdered. Nobody cares. Really.
Yeah. In Halloween 2, yeah.
It's not even Michael Myers that does it. And honestly, it's the Dr. Loomis. It's the kid killed because he scares him into the road and he gets hit by a car and then blows up.
And then he's on fire. And then they're just
burns
like,
alive. Yeah, they're like, well,
next time it'll be Michael.
Mhm.
And then they just drive
Dr.
off.
You know what's really funny is that you see, like, reading about these movies, like, and I know he comes back again later, but just from these first 2 films, I forget. Sorry to disrespect this
Donald
esteemed
Pleasance.
actor here, Donald Pleasance. He's to me this character is hilarious. Dr. Loomis is hilarious in these first 2 movies. The scenes with him and like the sheriff are so funny because he's just like saying insane things. It's like he's not human. He's got the devil's eyes, and like the cop has no idea what the hell he's talking about the whole time.
No,
he's
so poetic.
He has no clue what he's
Everything's
talking
Shakespeare.
about, and he's just driving this old man around. No proof of like anything, even like till like the very end.
Mm-hmm.
He's
No,
like, I
yeah,
don't
the
know what
sheriff
the
is
hell
driving
you're
him around,
talking
and
about.
he's like, "For 20 years, I stared into the eyes of evil."
Yeah, like what the fuck are you talking about? The sheriff's not
Man,
even
you
like
are
fully.
monologuing.
He's not even like fully convinced that like Michael Myers is like there in the town doing anything, you know. And then he shows up at the very end and like an expert marksman, this child psychiatrist is like headshots him immediately, like as he's like holding Lori, and then like just unloads into him.
Oh yeah, a whole thing, like 6 rounds right in the chest.
Oh, that's it, because he says it like 10 times in Halloween too. Like I fired a 6 round, I shot him 6 times.
I shot him 6 times.
I bet they got that
So-
again.
Again, it's like everybody that like is forced to just drive Dr. Loomis around because Michael stole his car right in the beginning of the first movie. It just has to listen to this old man just talk about insane things. They have no clue. They have no context. They have no idea what's going on. They're just driving
Because
around
that
this
man
crazy
has
old
so
man.
many of them. Dr. Loomis comes back a lot.
Would you like a Donald Pleasance fun fact?
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
He was a Nazi prisoner of war.
For
He
2
was
years.
he
No,
was a Nazi
he was a
himself?
part. No, he was a prisoner of war for
he
the
was a
Nazis.
prisoner of war to the Nazis.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
a Nazi
thank
prisoner of
thank
war.
goodness.
He was a Nazi.
It was like,
And
here's a
so-
fun fact. He was a Nazi. Oh, great.
He was a part of the Royal Air Force, and he was shot down in 44. And then he spent, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years in a prison camp, during which time he apparently would help put on performances for the other prisoners. And then he got out of that in 46, joined West End, got into acting and that kind of thing. And he did like several Carpenter films and several Halloween films. Actually, he was in Halloween films up until Halloween 6, which is when he died. And so Halloween 6 is in memoriam to Donald Pleasance. But there's a little fun fact for you.
I would love to have a series like Halloween, especially when you're all the way to Halloween 6. That's in memoriam to me.
It's that one and like the next one, right?
Wonder.
Yeah,
I understand.
both of them.
Obviously, you have to. He's like one of the 3 main characters of the series. But
It's like Laurie and Loomis. Like,
yeah, I get it. But like it's just so out of all like after all this like horrific murder and gratuitous nudity and all that.
yeah. Well,
The like the scene in the hospital where where they get in the tub and everything. I'm sorry, that woman is hot.
Oh yeah.
no, there was a discussion about the attractiveness of the nurse that died.
She took her clothes off and I was like, Jesus.
No, honestly, if the Halloween franchise has anything going for it, they always know how to cast a great character. Like that's just a fact. I'm so sorry.
It's like for me, that's my personal Margot Robbie, Wolf of Wall Street. is the nurse who's horrifically killed with scalding hot water,
Boiled alive, yeah.
boiled alive. But before that, she takes her clothes off and gets in a hospital tub.
It's a physical rehabilitation tub, and so it's meant to be
even
able
better.
to do.
I bet
like,
it feels great. I bet it feels
warm
great.
temperature. I think it's even meant to be able to do cold temperature. I think that's why it's metal. I think
Like
that it's meant to
hydrotherapy,
be
I think it's what it's like
physical.
called.
Yeah, I think it's a physical rehab station.
That makes more
If they were
sense.
gonna
I can't
blink
use
in.
context clues or anything. I'm just dumb as hell.
You're not dumb. My father was.
I'm over here like like
the
the jacuzzi they have in the hospital basement.
That's fine.
Specifically
I mean,
for
they only have 5
sex.
employees there anyway, so.
my dad used to be a pharmaceutical salesman, so these are the
So
kinds
funny.
of things that I heard about growing up.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Well, when we watched,
The whole point was that this woman was
she's smoking.
Oh yeah.
Pun intended.
it's funny. It's so strange, the slasher genre, especially like back then,
Mhm.
where it was like, what a weird thing. No wonder everybody's like insane. Where it's
Well,
like horniness with like horrific violence that everyone is like there for. You're like happy about the murdering, and you're like getting horny at the same time, and then you watch them get murdered. And it's like, what does it mean? What are the everlasting effects for like the people of the 80s and whatnot who grew up with a lot of not great slashers?
we can. This is definitely, I think, a good question for.
But this is for the other episode. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No. But I think that if I had to really point it to 2 things, I think that it is a little bit of a mixture of
It's the demographic.
the sexual revolution kind of that was happening at the 70s, but also reactionary to the violence and the sexual violence that was happening with the serial killer boom. of the 70s. And that's a whole thing to unpack. But I think that that's kind of where it conflates, is like, you can't talk about these people, especially for those filmmakers, without talking about the sex. So we have to show the sex to then show the sort of violent result, you know, where these people who are, by the nature of their crimes, intrinsically linked to sex and sexual violence. You know, it's this very weird, complicated, that I think, amalgam that kind of, you know, sort of happens at the time.
I'm glad I never got horrifically murdered after either having sex, or, like, even worse, for some of these characters don't even get to have sex before they
they just want
it. They don't get there. They want it, or like they're about to attempt it, and then it happens before they even get the chance. That's not cool.
I mean, it's the most intimate moment. It's when your pants are down.
Mm-hmm.
Michael's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
by the way,
he likes to stalk.
Yeah.
Even from only watching the first two movies, like, what a fucking weirdo. Cut it out. Weird ass.
Just wait, man. Just wait. These movies.
I like at the end of the first movie, he sets, like, he like makes everything to, like, open up and for the body to, like, flop down and everything. That's funny.
Oh, yeah,
what in the world opens the little door where, like, the woman is just dead? Like,
Springtrap.
he was prepared. He set all of this up in the time it took her to, like, get across the street.
Very theatrical.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
he's got showmanship,
so good.
Honestly.
All right.
No, yeah. I think I think that you will notice a weird absence of his theatricality, but I think, and I haven't seen the new one, I think David Gordon Green reintroduces some of it in Halloween 2018.
Have you seen the reviews for Halloween Kills?
I've seen some. I've seen everything from the ultra positive to the mixed to the not a fan. The only person that I've seen so far who doesn't seem a fan is a critic that I very much respect, Walter Chaw.
I've seen mostly, for me, I just from the people I follow, I guess, the non-negative response to it.
And I guess his maybe wasn't negative, but he seemed his what I read of his literally just before we started recording was essentially kind of like, what he said was, it feels like it lacks empathy for the victims.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means. I'll only have to see the movie, I think, to really gauge whether or not.
Yeah.
Because that was actually something that we talked about with Halloween 4, is that's the first time I feel they intentionally introduce a character that I am not meant to feel bad if they die.
I see.
No, yeah, like the moment he starts talking, you're like, and I hate you.
Kill him.
It's where
Do it.
it's where they just, it's the indulgent, like, you know, what the audience is here for. The audience, so really give the audience someone like, I can't wait for you to die. I know you're gonna die.
And I can't wait I'm for counting down the seconds.
And I hope it's brutal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, I think there were really, honestly, 2-3 other things. We kind of touched on what we've been watching already, kind of earlier on when Nick first joined us. So there were 2 things that I wanted to hit on beyond that. The first one was an update on the IATSE strike. The stage performers have officially said that if the American Producer Association, essentially, and the studios are unwilling to come to terms by October 18th at noon, they will be launching a full-fledged labor strike that will grind film production, television production, concert production, musical shows on Broadway to a halt. Because this labor strike, if I haven't really made the profundity of it clear enough, extends from everything from that dude that's labeled best boy in the credits, and you have no idea what that means, all the way up to costumers, to makeup artists, to stunt performers, to drivers, to ushers. It is essentially everyone that is below the line talent. And so
all the way to whatever it is that the woman, the anti-vax woman we met at the Alice Cooper show does.
Yeah, that's right.
At shows here.
I think she was a roadie of some kind.
Yeah. Well, the Wicked thing.
Oh yeah. She did do like
She's-
touring Broadway shows.
Mhm.
So beyond that, so yeah, the strike is potentially going to come. It's actually also coming. The announcement of the pending strike is also just before we got an announcement of a John Deere strike. So labor strikes are kind of coming
A lot
everywhere.
of places on strike right now.
Yeah,
But, you know.
everybody's done with their bullshit.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens when shit sucks.
Yeah,
And as
it is
always,
what happens.
we here at the Film Buds are standing in solidarity. We have been making a conscious effort to honestly try and not indulge in new content. Like, that's not necessarily why we picked anything that we currently picked, but it's definitely helping me, I think, moving forward and informing of some of the decisions of what I'm going to talk about, at least until some of these things are resolved. Because just after the strike was announced, some of the studios said, we're tacking on extra production days for our crews that will bleed into when the strike might happen. So
Yeah.
we're definitely...
As one does.
Yeah. And so we're definitely going to try and stand in solidarity as best as we can, because this is an important issue. And when in the face of a strike, studios do something like that, it's very clear where their intentions lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is human rights at this moment right now. We're talking about people who need a living wage, who need better hours. And I think that everybody listening can also say that, yeah, I'm overworked and I would like more money too. So
yeah. Let's all stand in solidarity with the people that make so much of what we consume.
Yeah.
The second thing that I wanted to bring up was we have ourselves, and then we'll be done. We have ourselves a listener question. And it's a very special listener question. Hi, Paul, Lauren, and Nick. This is Henry from way back when. I really miss being on the show, but I have had a blast listening to it while I've been away. As Paul said on social media, I graduated Air Force basic training recently and am now in the 7-week Special Warfare Physical Prep course. It's going to be intense, but I'm glad to be here. I have not watched a movie since I shipped out, which sucks, but there's a chance we might be able to watch some soon. My question for y'all is this. If you were away from a long time, let's say 6 months, a year, what would be the first thing that you would watch when you got back? I actually think I'd start at sitcoms, but perhaps for film, I would pick something funny, like The Informant, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Ed Wood, School of Rock, etc. Thanks for keeping the show going, players. I hope to get back on soon. H.
Let's go.
So, dear Nick, if you were unable to watch film for a year...
That's such a hard question.
Right?
I think I know exactly where I would start.
I don't know. You know, so the question is if I couldn't watch anything for a year?
Yeah, if you couldn't watch film for a year, let's say you were stranded on an island, you get back, you get to watch something. Where do you start?
I need to catch up with current events first and foremost. But
I actually
barring that, I don't know. If this is just for me, I'd want to watch something like new that came out in the year that I missed. There's always stuff to look forward to. There's always filmmakers I like making stuff. I don't know. I guess that'd be my answer. I want to see something that I missed that was new that came out.
Okay. Dear, how about you?
See, I feel like I would probably do the exact opposite. I'd be like, all right, what is something cozy and that I love to watch, to turn on, to just like remind me of why I like watching movies.
Well, you know, I'm not taking into account like I've been stranded on a fucking island. I'd be a bit of a different person then. So I don't I'm still gonna stick with my answer. I'm gonna be a weirdo.
Fair. So
Sorry to interrupt you, Lauren. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Watch
I
something
mean, I can't
cozy.
even like think of something specific. I have no idea.
Oh, I have one exactly.
Go for it. Great.
Zach and Miri
Zach-
make a porno.
I hope
No.
so.
That actually might not be far from my start, but I know exactly where I would start. I would, if I, for whatever reason, whether by choice, by force, what have you, could not have watched film for a period of time, I'd want to go back to where the love began. And
Yeah,
so for me, that's Star Wars: A New Hope. And that's probably where I would start.
Star Wars.
Yeah, and not even the rest of them. I maybe wouldn't even do Empire, but I think that
You just
I would
watch-
just go
You
back
watch
to
Star Wars.
Yeah, go back to feeling like the kid that stared off at twin suns a little bit, you know? Like I would really want to go back
Yeah.
and reconnect there and use that as just sort of like a starting point of like, and now I'm going to reintroduce myself.
Maybe I'd watch the original Space Jam.
Yeah,
I
there we
like
go.
I'm talking about where the love really began.
Well, if we're talking about where the love really began, then I feel like I could pick any one of the Disney princess movies.
Oh,
and
I
then
thought
just,
you were
like,
going to pick
plop-
the Into the Woods movie.
Oh, which one?
The concert one.
Oh, well, that's
Like the actual Broadway performance.
well. I see if you.
It'd be really scary to meet someone who is like, oh, the first movie I'd watch back was like Meryl Streep. into
The first
the
movie
woods.
back was James Corden's Into the Woods.
It had
Because
to
I
be.
really like to
It
watch,
had to be Into the Woods.
you know, Johnny in his zoot suit, just looking completely out of left field.
But
It's my favorite. No, I was thinking like something that I
At
could
least he
sing
keeps
along
it
to.
brief.
yeah,
So you saying Into the Woods, I was like, that's the same kind of vein, you know, something that I can turn on that I know all the words to, that I can just, you know,
Mhm.
have a great time.
The Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
Space Jam and The Lion King.
yeah.
Maybe, I love
Digimon
like,
the
Punch
movie.
Out, Digimon
Oh, the
the
Digimon
movie.
movie.
Guys, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, I love the
Chamber of
the
Secrets
first
for
one.
me, baby. That was like my first DVD ever. Like Chamber of Secrets.
Oh yeah.
It was like 4 discs because it had all like the special
Yeah.
app on it.
Yeah, I mean something nice and happy and that makes you like, you know, feel good after you watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, after a year of not watching movies, be like, all right, let me watch something that's just gonna make me sob.
Shame.
Titanic.
Mhm.
I want to watch that iceberg hit that, you know, that ship and watch those people.
You know
go
what?
down.
Honestly, if you looked at me though and said
I'm gonna
Titanic
start with
was my-
Schindler's List.
That's right.
honestly, if you looked at me and said I'm going to start with Titanic, I'd be like, no, I get it. It's cinematic.
No,
Start with
yeah, but
James.
like that movie.
Let's start with Avatar.
I don't feel like crying that much, you know?
This is Papa Dragon. I need to see Papa Dragon.
Stephen Lang, underutilized performer.
Mm.
You know what, Henry? Thank you for the listener question.
Yeah, it's been so long since we've had one.
Yeah. Please, thefilmbudspodcast at gmail.com. Send in your listener questions. Next month, we're doing international cinema. Send in your international cinema recommendations. Actually, I need specifically for my Indian listeners, I need a good Bollywood movie. So if anyone has one that is like, my dude, my man, my dude, start your Bollywood journey here. Super appreciated. Nick, is there anything that you would like to give our listeners as a last thought?
Movies are good, and
I love it.
we need more good movies. So yeah, stand with the strikers. So we can keep making good movies. That movies suck when they're made by overworked and
Dear?
underpaid people.
I think
That's
that's just
right.
about all the time that we have for tonight. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. I truly appreciate
Thank
every
you.
time you come on, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's been a real blast. And if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow Nick on Instagram and Twitter. I'll put up all of his socials and everything on this post as well. This post may not actually go out as early as I normally post it, but that's not for you to worry about. You're already listening to it.
If you
have a
follow
great
me, we're
evening, you
doing.
guys,
Yeah.
and we'll talk again soon. I've been Paul.
I'm Lauren.
And
I am Nick.
there we go. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.